Welcome back to Tangled Threads. Enjoying our videos? Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel and it would mean a lot to us. Here we go. Tom was apparently providing full-service therapy to my wife. Oh boy, where to even begin? Let me set the stage for you. I'm the kind of guy who likes things simple. A beer in one hand, a remote in the other. That's my perfect Friday night. But Sarah, my wife, she's an emotional firecracker, always buzzing with feelings and thoughts, so you can imagine what happened when her mother passed away. Sarah started seeing this therapist, Tom. Now, Tom was no ordinary guy. The way Sarah talked about him, you'd think he was some cross between Yoda and James Bond. Tom says this, and Tom thinks that. I mean, if I had a nickel for every time she mentioned his name, I'd probably be able to retire and move to Tahiti. But I digress. I'm a patient man. I tried to be supportive. After all, losing her first husband to cancer and now her mom, that's tough. But when the Tom talk started creeping into our dinner conversations, our pillow talks, heck, even during commercials for God's sake, I began to feel like I was living with a Tom superfan. I tried talking to her. "Hey babe," I'd say in my most charming voice. "Maybe we could ease up on the Tom stories. What did you do today?" But somehow she always steered it back to Tom. Tom's childhood, Tom's favorite books, Tom's idea of a perfect vacation. It was like living with a human Tom encyclopedia. That's when the suspicion set in. My mind, usually content with beer and football, started running like a caffeinated squirrel. Why would she talk about him so much? Was she trying to include me in her therapy sessions, or was there something more? It wasn't long before I turned into a detective. You know the ones in the movies, hiding behind newspapers and peeking around corners? Yeah, that was me. But instead of a hat and trench coat, I had my trusty baseball cap and a pair of jeans that had seen better days. And you know what I found? Oh boy, buckle up, because here it comes. Sarah wasn't just going to Tom's office for therapy. She was showing up an hour early. An hour! I mean, who needs that much Tom time? There was only one logical conclusion. Something was going on. I decided to confront her. "Hey, Sarah," I said, all casual-like. "I noticed you're going to Tom's office a bit early these days. Anything special going on?" Her reaction? Classic defensiveness. Stuttering and stammering about needing to be on time and wanting to get the best out of her sessions. Yeah, right. I'll admit I was crushed. I felt like I'd been kicked in the gut by a horse wearing steel boots. But I knew I had to take control. This was my life, my marriage, and I wasn't about to play the fool. So I decided to take my thoughts to Facebook. You know, the place where all mature, responsible adults go to air their grievances. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? With my heart pounding and my fingers flying, I penned the most eloquent, sarcastic post of my life, highlighting Tom's full-service support for married women. I tagged Sarah, her sister, my brother, our neighbors, that guy from high school I never really liked, and even the dog's Facebook page, don't ask. It was a phase Sarah went through. The post was a masterpiece, a digital Michelangelo's David, and I felt a surge of satisfaction as I hit the enter button. That's when the real chaos began. Messages started flooding in, phones were ringing, and my life, already tangled, became a twisted mess of emotions, accusations, and decisions. But you know what? I held my head high. This was my story, my stand, and there was no turning back. But let me tell you something. My fury had not cooled one bit. I was a man on a mission. My next step? Call my lawyer and start the paperwork for divorce. After that, it was off to Colorado to see some family and clear my head. Now, the mountains of Colorado, they're something else. The air is crisp, the sky is clear, and the whole place just sort of screams new beginnings. I did a lot of thinking, a lot of drinking, and a lot of both together. I needed space to digest what had happened and figure out my next move. Sarah, in the meantime, was on an apologetic rampage. Her calls, voicemails, texts, they were never ending. "Please come home," she'd say, "we can work things out." She was desperate, and part of me wanted to give in. But no, I stayed strong, and I never responded to one thing. When I returned from Colorado, it was like stepping onto the set of a tragic soap opera. Sarah was running toward me, mascara smudged, hair disheveled, like she'd been wrestling with her guilt. I'll admit I felt a twinge of sympathy, but I squashed it. This was a reckoning. "Please," she sobbed, falling to her knees on the driveway. "Please, just listen to me. Let's go inside, talk about it. We can fix this." "Fix this?" I scoffed, my voice dripping with disdain. "You think some talking and crying will fix what you did?" "I'm sorry," she wailed, clutching at my legs like a desperate child. "I never meant for this to happen. It was a mistake, a terrible mistake. Please give me another chance. You had your chance, Sarah, I said, yanking my leg free from her grasp. You had every chance to be honest, to be faithful, and you threw it away. Her face was a mess of tears and desperation. It was just... I was so lonely. And Tom, he understood. He listened. But it's you I love. It's always been you. Please don't leave me like this. Love, I spat, my anger boiling over. You call this love? You betrayed our marriage, made me a laughingstock. You think saying I love you will erase that? I'll do anything, she pleaded, crawling towards me. Anything you want, anything you need. Just don't leave me. I can't live without you. I looked down at her, this woman I once adored, now groveling at my feet like some discarded trash. You should have thought about that before you spread your legs for Tom, I snapped, my words like whiplashes. You made your choice. Now live with it. She collapsed, her body racked with sobs, her words a garbled mess of apologies and promises. But I had heard enough. My heart was stone, my resolve unbreakable. I went inside, packed up my things, and left her there, sobbing on the driveway. Looking back, I know I was harsh. I know my words were cruel, but they were the truth, a painful, brutal truth. She had destroyed us, and in that moment, all I had left was my pride, my self-respect. I drove away, leaving her, leaving Tom, leaving that whole sordid mess behind. The road ahead was uncertain, but it was mine to travel, mine to shape. In the rearview mirror, I saw a figure, broken and defeated, a reminder of a past best forgotten. But me? I'm happy now. I'm settled. Life's moved on, and so have I. The scars remain, a permanent reminder of a chapter best left in the past. I look back, and I think about what I learned, about trust, about betrayal, and about strength. And you know what? I wouldn't change a thing. So here's to new beginnings, to standing tall, to moving on. If you ever find yourself in a mess like mine, just remember, you've got the power to write your story. Don't let anyone else hold the pen, even if their name is Tom. Well, how do you think he handled that? What would you have done differently if you were in his shoes? Let us know in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.